Join me as I dig deep into the history and try to uncover the real story behind Japanese internment during World War II. Hook 15 start with a surprising statistic about the number of Japanese Americans interned during World War II to immediately capture viewer interest. Introduction 15s introduce the topic of Japanese internment during World War II, highlighting its significance in American history and its relevance today. Presentation of problem. Challenge 1 meter outline the challenges faced by Japanese Americans, including the reasons for their internment and the impact on their lives and community. Exploration, development. 1 meter. Delve into the historical context of the internment, discussing government decisions, public sentiment, and personal stories of those affected. Climax, key moment. -1 meters present the pivotal moment when awareness and opposition to internment grew, leading to the eventual redress and apologies from the government. Conclusion, summary, 15s. Summarize the key points discussed, emphasizing the lessons learned from this chapter of history and its implications for civil rights. Call to action, CTA 15s encourage viewers to share their thoughts on the topic in the comments, and to check out another video on related civil rights issues. Join me as I dig deep into the history and try to uncover the real story behind Japanese internment during World War II. The story of Japanese internment in the United States during World War II is a significant and often overlooked chapter in American history. It's a tale of fear, prejudice, and the suspension of civil liberties that still resonates today. For many Americans, the very mention of internment camps conjures up images of distant, exotic places. But the reality is that these camps were located right here in the United States. Japanese Americans faced immense challenges during this period, with their lives and communities profoundly impacted. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, the U.S. government began to view Japanese Americans with suspicion, fearing they might pose a threat to national security. This fear was fueled by racism and xenophobia, leading to a series of executive orders that ultimately resulted in the forced relocation and internment of over 120,000 Japanese Americans. The reasons for internment were rooted in a complex mix of politics, propaganda, and public sentiment. The U.S. government claimed that Japanese Americans were a security risk, citing concerns about espionage and sabotage. However, these claims have been widely disputed by historians, who argue that the internment was motivated by racism and a desire to punish Japanese Americans for their perceived disloyalty. The impact on Japanese American communities was devastating. Families were forced to leave their homes and businesses behind, with many losing everything they had worked for. The internment camps themselves were often harsh and unsanitary, with inadequate food, housing, and medical care. Despite these challenges, many Japanese Americans found ways to resist and adapt, forming community organizations and advocating for their rights. As the war dragged on, the U.S. government began to face growing criticism for its treatment of Japanese Americans. The internment was widely condemned by civil liberties groups, the American Civil Liberties Union, and even some military leaders. The turning point came in 1944 when the Supreme Court heard the case of Korematsu v. United States, which challenged the constitutionality of the internment. The case ultimately upheld the internment, but the dissenting opinions and growing public opposition marked a shift in public sentiment. The U.S. government began to realize that the internment was not only morally wrong, but also a strategic mistake. In 1988, Congress passed the Civil Liberties Act, which provided reparations to surviving Japanese American internees, and officially apologized for the government's actions. The story of Japanese internment serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of fear, prejudice, and the erosion of civil liberties. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of protecting the rights of all Americans, regardless of their background or ethnicity. As we reflect on this chapter in American history, we're reminded that the struggle for justice and equality is ongoing. So, what do you think? Share your thoughts on Japanese internment and its legacy in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about civil rights issues, check out my video on the history of the civil rights movement and its ongoing impact today.